Hey, how's it going? This is Melinda and welcome to my channel. So, April 20th, 2024, it is a matter of days and we're getting into Record Store Day. I am so excited. There's so many great records coming out and I'm going to talk to you about what I think are really cool, my favorite choices. I'm also going to dish to you a little bit about what I think is ridiculous and weird and maybe shouldn't be released, and you can argue with me on that. I'm also going to show you some records from the Elemental Music label that are going to be must-haves to some of us, and just show you them, tell you about the sound quality, give you a little sneak peek about some Record Store Day records. So let's go ahead and get started with records that I'm really looking forward to when it comes to Record Store Day. And I'm going to start off with the Amboy Dukes, Journey to the Center of the Mind. I was so happy when I saw this was going to be released because I do see Amboy Dukes records from time to time, but they're in terrible condition. I've always wanted to have a little Amboy Dukes in the collection. This is a psychedelic record with amazing killer guitar riffs, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun to own. Hopefully the sound quality is good. I don't know anything about that. It's going to be on hookah bottle colored vinyl, which I know nothing about, so I'm going to assume it's clear. And also coming with some rolling papers, which I, again, know absolutely nothing about. So yeah, I'm that square, you guys, but I think this is going to be a very fun release, and it's one of the tops of my favorites that I would love to find on Record Store Day. So another one, oh, and it's going to be 1,400 copies, so not a ton of them. Hopefully it will land in my hands. Now the next one I'm going to talk about is David Bowie. He sells so amazingly well on Record Store Day, and this one is going to be particularly hot in my opinion. I could be wrong, but I think it's going to be a big seller. It's limited to 8,000 copies. Sounds like a lot, right? But it's David Bowie, and this one is related to Ziggy Stardust. Probably his most famous album, if not one of his most famous albums. And it is just alternative takes. I think it's maybe rearranged a little differently, and it includes songs that didn't make the album. So if it's one of your favorite releases by David Bowie, this one might be a really cool one to have because I pull out Ziggy Stardust all the time. It'd be really cool to have an alternative take, some different listening material when it comes to that album. And I think that one's going to be a huge one. Now I know if I see it, I'm going to pick it up. The next one that I really think is going to be interesting is Chris Isaak, Beyond the Sun. And he's taking some Sun record label classics and making them his own. Songs like Walk the Line, Great Balls of Fire, Can't Help Falling in Love. And of course, I don't think anybody can do better than Elvis on that one, but Chris Isaak comes really, really close. And it's a 2 LP set. It's not going to be cheap. It's an exclusive. So, you know, it's limited to 2,000, so there's not a ton of them either. It's one of those where if I see it and it's still on the shelf, I'm probably going to grab it because I love Chris Isaak. He has a really cool singing style. And I love the Sun record music. I really think that one's going to be a huge success. So those are some of the records that I personally would love to find on Record Store Day. Got a lot going on in my life. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to go to Record Store Day, but I'm going to try my best. So let's go ahead now and show you some of the Elemental Music label releases. And this is a collaboration, and what I mean by that is Elemental Music sent me some records to show on the channel, give my opinions about. I'm going to talk to you about the sound quality, show you and talk to you about the information about these records. They didn't pay me, and I didn't pay them for the records. I get to keep them. So that's what a collaboration is, and I'm so grateful. I've been working with Elemental Music for a long time now. They put out great sounding records, and these are no different. This one, honestly, out of all of the releases, had I not been working with Elemental Music label, this one, when I saw the list, stood out to me as number one, the one I wanted to have. So this is Yusef Lateef, Atlantis Lullaby. I really love Yusef Lateef. Eastern Sounds is my second favorite jazz record, only to In a Silent Way by Miles Davis. I absolutely adore Yusef Lateef. And this record does not disappoint. It is a fantastic record. And, you know, just from the very beginning, I'm so impressed with Yusef Lateef. And I am, back in the day, back in high school, I played tenor saxophone. I was decent at it. Of course, nothing like Yusef Lateef. So, but as someone who played it, I can appreciate the articulation, how hard it is to play those notes so fast and on key and sound amazing. And he just comes out blazing on the first side. It's so wonderful. And he is accompanied by Kenny Barone on piano, and it is a fantastic combination. And Kenny's great too. Bob Cunningham, Albert Tootie Heath, they are all absolutely incredible. Side 3 is probably my favorite on here, and it's just an amazing release. This was a concert. It came out, let me see, I have some information about it. Let me find it. Yes, July 19th of 1972. And it comes with a really great booklet with not just amazing pictures, but great stories. And I don't like to give away the stories and ruin the fun for other people who want to read this, but I just will say as a teaser, there is an amazing connection between Zev Feldman, and he has the company Jazz Detective that works with Elemental. He finds all of these recordings and brings them to life. Otherwise, we would never hear these performances. So I really respect Zev Feldman, along with Elemental, for bringing these wonderful records to life. Anyway, this is a great book full of information, fantastic photos. I love this picture right here. It's so cool. And really, I love hearing the quotes from the band members. They go back and they find interviews and they talk about Yusef and share their stories. And anyway, this is a great read, and I don't want to ruin it for you, but there's a really cool connection between Zev and Yusef on here. And it sounds really good. Now, when I show these records, they are unearthed recordings, performances. There is some digitization so that they are cleaned up and sound better. They all come in really nice poly-lined sleeves. It's paper on the outside, but it's poly on the inside, so you do not have to worry about changing out the sleeves unless you just want to. And so these are really fantastic. I highly recommend that Yusef Lateef record, but there's even more to come. So now I want to show you Cannonball Adderly. This is Burnin' in Bordeaux, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, live in France, 1969. Again, just a tremendous performance. And it is more of the traditional jazz record to listen to. And Cannonball Adderly, he came in right after Charlie Parker passed away. And a lot of people probably thought he was a good replacement for Charlie Parker. But you know what? Cannonball Adderly totally changed everything and made himself his own man in his own way and inspired generations of jazz artists. So he was just absolutely wonderful. And not to give away, here, let me show you the gatefold. I love the color combinations on here. These are all going to be limited copies, you guys, but let me show you the booklet. And again, I don't want to give away some of the gems when you read these. You know, that's part of the fun, is reading all of the information and finding out something you didn't know. But one of the things I will mention that I didn't know that really surprised me about Cannonball Adderly was that back in the day, he had his own talk show. It came on after Johnny Carson. It was only on for 1 year. But he interviewed movie stars and celebrities and played music. I did not know that. I thought it was really interesting. And sadly, about Cannonball Adderly, he passed away when he was only 46 years old. He had a massive brain hemorrhage. That's what happened to my mom when she passed away. He was only 46. My mom at least got to be at the age of 72. My mom died the day it happened. He lingered for several weeks and unfortunately passed away, and that was just way too young. So again, this is another great release. Let me let you know the other talent that is on here. We've got Nat Adderly on the cornet, his brother, Joel Zawinul, Victor Gaskin, and Roy McCurdy, who is just an absolute favorite on drums. He is very well known for his skills on the drums. So again, 2 LPs, just like the Yusef Lateef record, and it is absolutely wonderful. Here is another one, and this one really took me by surprise, you guys. I think this one might be my favorite out of all of the Elemental releases that I received. This is Cannonball Adderly. Again, if you're a Cannonball Adderly fan, you can't go wrong with either one of these records, but Poppin' in Paris from 1972, L'Olympia, hope I pronounced that correctly. This is absolutely unbelievably good. It is more, I would say, of a jazz fusion type of record. Think Donald Byrd's Electric Bird or Miles Davis in a Silent Way, Bitches Brew kind of thing. What makes this really unique is the people on here. George Duke, he is on piano and electric piano, and I think he really adds to the flavor of this album. It's funky. There's space rock. Now, George Duke, you probably know because he's collaborated with Frank Zappa a lot. So we've got Cannonball Adderly, Nat Adderly again on the cornet, George Duke, Walter Booker, and again, Roy McCurdy, a wonderful drum player. And this sounds great. It's fantastic. It's fun. All of these records are so engaging. They were performances. They had to mix it up to keep the audience interest and energy alive. And wow, this one is so energetic and so much fun. I cannot speak highly enough. If you can only afford to buy one of these Elemental music releases, this would be my choice. Yusef Lateef is awfully close too. You really can't go wrong with any of them. But wow, Poppin' in Paris by Cannonball Adderly. So now here is another wonderful release. And I did not have any records with him as the headliner in my collection. I don't think I have him in my collection at all, but if I do, he's someone that is getting a secondary credit, Waldron. And I love the album cover. I love the color combinations on the titles with Steve Lacy. Now, he is a jazz pianist, and I love jazz piano. That's my favorite. He plays with this really melancholy, kind of slow, take his time. He's relaxed, and he plays beautifully. And then Steve Lacy, you know, he's just an amazing soprano saxophone player, and he's so bubbly and light. And it's this mixture, like when you mix salt with sugar, you get this amazing result. So I think this is also, again, another great release. And I love the album cover, the music, 2 LPs. We also have Reggie Workman and Andrew Cyril on drums. So fantastic. Reggie is the bass player. I don't want to leave that out. All of these come with these amazing booklets with all of these hidden gems, great reads. They all have wonderful stories. Zev Feldman shares some insights on how these records were found, these recordings, I should say. It's just absolutely amazing. And finally, you guys, this one was one. I did not get the Chet Baker release. There was a mix-up where the records are shipped from. They sent me the wrong record, so I didn't get the Chet Baker release. Other reviewers have said it's very good. I don't know. I hope I get it very, very soon in the near future. This is Sun Ra at the Showcase live in Chicago, 1976 through 1977. This is my first Sun Ra record. Now, I would say I've been into jazz just for a few years. So to have to warm up to albums like Kind of Blue, and then get into the jazz fusion of In a Silent Way, and then you get into Sun Ra, I'm still needing to take that step up with Sun Ra. But he has a huge following of fans. If you are one of them, you will understand. He was prolific, but he wasn't on the same popularity level as Miles Davis and John Coltrane. So his records, as soon as they hit record stores, sell almost as immediately as they come in. They're very hard to find. So if you are interested in Sun Ra and curious about his sound, this is a great way to go, and that's my introduction. So Sun Ra is a little out there. He's very avant-garde with the playing with the synthesizer, with the keyboards. The rest of the band might be playing one thing, and he kind of adds his own avant-garde type of music along with it. It's kind of eerie at times. It's also joyous. It feels like a celebration a lot of the time. Again, I'm not sure that I am quite ready for Sun Ra, but I've grown into everything else, and I can't help but to think I will grow into the avant-garde of Sun Ra. He has a lot of great artists with him on this record. 2 LPs. Again, it comes with a booklet. So I'm probably going to catch fire for the things I'm about to say. And I just want to take a minute, take a deep breath. I want to reassure you guys that what Record Store Day is all about is bringing these unique records that maybe otherwise would have never gotten a release to the forefront for vinyl geeks like us. So the records that I talked about as being my highlight might be the ones you think are a joke. And the ones that I think are a little bit of a waste of time might be the #1 record you want. And that is really what it's all about. We cannot agree on everything, and it would be really boring if we did. This is where I enjoy talking to you in the comments, because you let me know, hey, I like this, and this is why. And I enjoy hearing that from you. Some of you agree with me, some of you do not. And I say, I like both of you, it doesn't matter. Do not beat me up for saying what I'm about to say, but you can sure let me have it in the comments in a nice way. Let me know why I'm wrong. But let's go ahead and talk about the nays. These are records that I think are weird releases. Eric Carr. This is called Unfinished Business, and this definitely seems like an unfinished release. Now, last year, Eric Carr, I was really happy to see him get some attention for Record Store Day. Beautiful packaging, a great picture on the cover. They did a picture disc as well as an album and featured Eric Carr. And I'm going to say, as far as Kiss goes, Eric Carr is an unsung hero. I think he was in the band longer than Peter Criss, or at least as long. But for some reason, when it comes to Kiss history, or Kisstory, they say, he does not get the love that maybe he deserves. So it's kind of cool in a way that Record Store Day is putting these Eric Carr releases out there. And obviously last year, he must have sold like crazy, and Kiss lovers buy up everything. So this time though, again, cool packaging just like last year. But I think the track listing is a little less to be desired in my opinion. You know, we get some interesting things like Black Magic Woman, and I looked it up so I could hear Eric Carr's version of it, and I couldn't find it. So that might be cool. Listen to the Music is another one. But a lot of the track listings are something like interview of Eric Carr, Bill Aucoin's thoughts on Eric Carr, Eric Carr joking at rehearsal. And those type of things are maybe interesting as a novelty to listen to once or twice, and then after that, you're not going to go back to those. It does seem like filler to me. Let me know if I'm wrong, but I think the Eric Carr release this year is a little lame. Packaging's cool, so if you were into the packaging of it and the colored vinyl, knock yourself out. I just think substance-wise, this one really lacks, and he deserves better than that. Maybe there just isn't anything else available, and they really dug deep, and I mean deep, to find some Eric Carr material. So the next one I want to talk about, Dio, Fleetwood Mac, Motley Crue, all extremely cool bands in their own right, but they have the distinct honor, or a lack of honor, of being put on picture disc this year. Now, we have a lot of different opinions when it comes to picture discs, and some of you love them, and I understand. Let's take Fleetwood Mac, Rumors. That's the picture disc that's coming out this year. Some of you might just want the picture disc. It's one of your favorite albums. You want to put it on your wall and hang it up. Or you just collect picture discs in general, and that one would be one to have, so I don't blame you there. If you are a new vinyl collector, though, and you're buying the picture disc to listen to, there's so many better versions of Rumors. Do not buy this picture disc so that you can listen to it. You know, if it's for your wall, have at it. If it's to listen to, don't do it. I think it's a waste. Same with Dio and Motley Crue. Fantastic releases, and I don't know why they're putting it on picture disc when there's a beautiful opportunity to do what Record Store Day used to do best. Cool splatter vinyl, unusual looking vinyl records. Don't do these picture discs. Again, if you're a picture disc person, disregard what I'm saying. I am definitely, no one gave me the crown as the queen of Record Store Day, so this is just an opinion of one person. But I'm not a big fan of all of these Record Store Day picture disc releases when these amazing records could be put on a cool color variant, splatter vinyl, something very, very special and unique that sounds good. Picture discs have come a long way, but they're still not as good as a vinyl record. But now I want to talk to you about the biggest release that I think is absolutely insane. It's going to be so impractical, so ridiculous. I also think it's going to be a big seller, and I think it's beyond cool. I'm talking about the Beatles, the 3-inch turntable with all of those little 3-inch singles. The practical side of me thinks this is absolutely the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. A waste of money, a waste of time. No one's ever going to stop and listen to them. The sound quality is going to be terrible, but I also think it's actually quite brilliant and very cool. They are adorable. They're so cute. And it's the Beatles. Everybody loves the Beatles. I think this is the release that is so crazy and everybody kind of makes fun of and at the same time kind of likes, you know. I think that this is going to sell out immediately. And if you are someone who are going to, you really want this for your collection, you better be the first in line. You better find out that the record store you have is actually even going to have this. And you better hope and pray that you find it and you run and grab it first. Because this Beatles 3-inch turntable and all of these little singles, it is so adorable and cute and cool and collectible. I think these have the potential to be very valuable in the future. I am definitely not an expert on that, and I'm usually wrong, so don't trust me on that. I just think this is the most popular, the most controversial, the craziest release of Record Store Day 2024. The Beatles 3-inch turntable and the singles. Let me know what records you're interested in. What are your thoughts on this Beatles release? The Elemental Music label. I want to hear from you in the comments what I got right and what I got wrong and what I think's great and not so great about Record Store Day. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, hit the like button and the notification bell. But most importantly, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.